Yo, 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 what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nick the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. Give y'all a little bit of time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. And for those who might have got a notification, apologies for the pushback. We had a few things to take care of. Um, Swoop, what's going on, baby? Hopefully everybody had a blessed and productive Monday. Hopefully everybody was able to get through the work day. Um, and if you was out and about in the heat, hopefully I was able to keep yourselves hydrated at all costs and just doing taking the necessary steps to preserve your health, especially we still in the summertime. Um, Appreciate everybody that tuned in this morning for the conversation. Definitely was a good one. Missed it, catch the replay. Um, and tonight's title is clear as day. Um, I think we really need to start repairing the fabric, especially when it comes to morality and just the simple basic concepts that are needed right now. Um, I know I didn't really take heed to the story, but I did take heed to something that kind of threw me off. Um, that situation that happened in the city. Um, yeah. So the funny thing about that and the saddest thing about it is that, in my opinion, this is something that's not really common out here. When specific people come out here, especially if it's their first time really out here, or even if they just got a core fan base, you're gonna get a lot of people coming out to these events. But the sad part about it is you did kind of, it kind of show something that didn't need to be shown. Um, you shown that some of y'all will go to the links and the extents just to get something free. Now, granted, it was a free giveaway and all of that, but some of y'all was presenting yourselves like y'all never had too much of anything. And some of y'all come from areas where you got certain things. Now, the one reason why I said it was sad is because I caught a video of one of the cops smashing the boy's head. I don't know if he was with the crowd doing anything crazy or not, but when the cop grabbed him and proceeded to, not so much to slam him against the wall, he slammed him against the car and his face went through the car window. Now, that's a young boy regardless to what. And that moral fabric right there, even if you was trying to detain somebody, you don't do it like that to where you could possibly hurt them. Again, I don't believe that boy was doing too much of anything because from the clip I seen, he looked like he was trying to see what was going on. But just because you was in the crowd, you know how some of these people are going to think. They already feeling like half of the crowd is already on some animalistic mode and they doing stuff that they ain't supposed to be doing. Yeah, they not trying to think morally. They just trying to think about the safety all in all. James, what's going on, my guy? See, in that notion, some people would say, oh, the parents got a lawsuit. They shouldn't have did this, that, and third. To a degree, they do got a lawsuit. But then again, if the kid was involved in any type of form of, criminality or anything along those sorts while that event was going on, then, it's a split with that one. And that is crazy because it looked like it was just going to be a simple, you know, get yourself up against the car. But then the whole face went through the back of the cab. Like, and that wasn't no fake glass. That was real glass. Like, boy could have got his face, severely damaged up just by that. Again, some of these people ain't thinking about moral fabric when there are things going on that could possibly jeopardize people's safety or life. So I do feel that was kind of weird though. I was trying to see if I could have caught another, or at least caught some of the whole video. Because again, I don't know if that boy really did anything, but just for the fact that he got grabbed up and his face got rammed through the back of a cab, that I don't know. That speaks. Davis, what's going on? Again, for those that are in the city, you know, your kids going to specific events, gotta make sure that they still safe at all times, regardless. Because you have things like this that happen, and come on, it's crazy. Liz, what's going on, baby? I see you using that custom emoji. I see you in here already. Um, but yeah, that was crazy because I had to really look twice because it looked like like I said, it looked like he just was being nosy, like he didn't know what all was going on. And then next thing you know, you see the cop just come from around the corner and just as they was trying to tackle a few people who did do some stuff that they shouldn't have did, he got wrapped up. So like I tell somebody, even if you innocent and you ain't doing much of nothing, you gotta be mindful of the areas you in because if if something has been presented as a clear and present threat, they're gonna treat everything as is, even in that vicinity. Like I said, I know it was a giveaway, et cetera, and I ran over that. But that didn't also give certain rights because some of these people was doing the utmost, tearing up pieces of the city, just acting a fool. And again, when you start presenting yourselves like animals or savages that never had anything, this is how they feel about it. You got to come to the terms that look. Sometimes, you know, it's not always best to just be in specific areas where it could be a present danger, especially for something that you could wait for. It's not to be funny. In certain situations, you probably have people who do got these exact game systems and all. So, what was the purpose of really just, being it? Well, because it was being given away for free. What was you going to do with the other one? Sell it like normal. Like some people, they just going to grab extra stuff just because they want it and they going to end up selling. But see, I'm going to try to catch that full video and see if I can catch that whole situation right there. At least when, it had to get critical as far as the cops was concerned. Because again, certain situations you shouldn't be presented in at all because you don't want that type of situation happening. And hopefully that boy didn't, seriously damage his face or anything. Well, hopefully the cops didn't damage his face. Because honestly, you had multiple options to just subdue somebody if that's what you was doing. You ain't have to necessarily ram their face through a window. 702, what's going on, baby? But when it comes to giveaways and stuff like that, even if it is being presented by somebody that's a big name, you got to have a little more dignity and you got to have a little bit more reserve because again, you know, in all fairness, when you don't present that, you given a clear option that it's okay to start looting, to start wilding out, to even start unnecessary violence. Jess, what's going on, baby? Again, but I'm gonna try to see if I can catch that whole video because I know it's more than that than just that part I seen. But it's still, you know, I know it probably, it revs some people up because, you know, these are the type of situations that some parents got to worry about with their kids, even when they're not doing anything of the sort. But you hope that that kid wasn't really in the midst of no foolishness neither, because again, it would be a hit and miss to the. And that's the crazy part about it. When it comes to that, they not trying to hear nothing. They not trying to hear nothing but the safety of the people around, and they ain't just trying to make sure they don't got to fill out too much unnecessary paperwork, in my opinion. I'm in Brooklyn 702. I told you that 20 times. See, this is what happens when you don't go and make that album I told you to go make. Stimulus Records, baby. Go get your butt back in out and go back in the studio. Come back again. Come back again. But it is crazy because the way the pandemonium was and the way, right? I'm not gonna lie. You'd have thought it was a concert, and that's the only time I would normally see that type of crowd, even in an outdoor arena like that, is if it's some sort of concert event with somebody that's a big, big name. But again, it doesn't matter who it is that's doing any type of big brand giveaway or even surprise, whatever. You still gotta hold yourself to a certain standard. That's gonna be the first thing they think, even if you ain't doing nothing. They gonna think you was a part of something, especially if you're around a group of people and those group of people are getting into all sorts of havoc and chaos. So again, for those in the city, you got young ones or even teens that's going to these events, and it could probably get a little crazy depending on who and what. Got to keep an extra eye out to be on the safe side. Serious, what's going on, baby? If y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And seeing the reason why I'm just giving a reaction on this tonight too is because I thought about it. It's probably more videos of certain things that where it would have sparked the wrong type of anger for some people. It would have just been not sheer comedy for others. It would have just been something to think about, like, this could have went a little bit better. It just actually could have been done a little bit more smooth. Word, what's going on, my guy? But in the height, especially the height of everything, and you in the city, again, when it comes to specific things, everybody, the first choice is going to be Manhattan because, again, it's not saying that it's more spacious, but most people are going to want to be in the spots where it's known, known. It got to be funny. Not saying that that wasn't a good spot to try to do anything, but if you was going to do something, number one, you're supposed to have a whole bunch of adequate security and police protection because regardless to what, you still are a quote unquote figure. So, in that notion, got to be mindful on those things because now look, it seemed like a day that nobody was really trying to fathom, but it happened. And a lot of times you can't just do random stuff like that neither. You got to give yourself proper time and preparation to do these type of things because you know what you're expecting. You're gonna have some who are gonna hold themselves to the highest standards and just chill out, relax, and enjoy the festivities. And then you gonna have those who do the utmost. So again, that token, you want to make sure people are safe. So when you are planning events like that, just make sure you give the proper heads up where you need to because you don't know what's going to happen in a minute. People get the gist of it. Like I said, technology is what it is now. First glimpse of a video somebody get, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, guess what? The whole world knows it. And it could be people that's in those vicinities. And I believe that. To me, it felt like a flash mob, but that was more than a flash mob. That was a concert mob, honestly. I know it was a whole bunch of wildness going on. I seen bits and pieces of that giveaway and all that stuff. A couple people I knew said that they was up there and was wondering why it was getting crazy to a point where even traffic was kind of messed up on one end. Like you can't really do much when you got a mob full of people just hogging up the whole spot basically. So again, when you are going to have these type of events, you know, give yourself all of the time to make sure you got the space that you need, security that you need, and just if any event thing kind of goes south, at least you protected and you covered on all angles. Willis, what's going on, my guy? But I want to definitely like do that research later because I got a feeling it was more than just one of those situations. And again, those type of video clips you end up seeing, yeah, they'll trigger the wrong things. But then again, you know, moral balance. But that's the saddest thing about it all because gotta start repairing that moral fabric again. You can't have your peoples out there going ape, stark crazy. You know, whether these is big names or not. BMF, what's going on, my guy? Like one day somebody was like, "You act like you wouldn't go crazy if you." I done seen some of the biggest names when I was working in the city. So yeah, man, listen, they just regular people to me that just got a higher status in life. That's really about it. But again, it's crazy because I gotta find out, make sure I gotta follow that up. Um, because I don't know. I feel like it was another clip there somewhere else, but well, actually, you did get a 2 for 1 because the same time the boy was getting his head pushed through the back of the taxi window, somebody else was getting tackled on the floor. But it was just, again, it just shows that it could have got even crazier, especially if you resist it. So you got to again bring that moral compass back. There's just some positions you're not supposed to put yourself into. That's why you need that moral fabric. You need it. Because that could have been a situation that could have took a turn for the worse. Because again, you smashing somebody's head through a window, they can either seriously cut up their whole face, glass can end up getting in their neck. They 9 out of 10, if their mouth was open while that was happening, they can end up swallowing bits and pieces and not even know it. So again, that is the only thing that kind of got me a little, baffled. But other than that, it's just a clear case of, when you're in the wrong places at the wrong times, these are the type of situations that end up happening. Hopefully that kid is okay because I didn't get a chance because it's like they cut it off or the clip I caught, they cut it off before they even took his head back out of the. So I don't know if he really got glass in his face or scalp, whatever. It's just crazy. Nexie, what's going on, baby? This is why you want to restore that. You can't have them going out there and the minute they think an opportunity is presented, they start acting like savages. because that's exactly what they're going to treat them like, savages. It's not about being perfect at the end of the day, but at least there's setting a strong moral fabric that is just some situations you don't need to get put into, and you don't have to put yourself into either. And if you are going to be around certain situations, you got to be able to know when it's time to dip up out of it, especially if you know it could go left. Court, what's going on, baby? And I know with that situation, there was more than a few arrests made, but and I guarantee you a lot of it was either petty larceny, or any type of whatever, probably disturbances, resisting arrest, yada yada yada. These are the things that's going to get thrown on the jacket when certain events like that happen and they start looting and getting crazy. They ain't trying to hit nothing. They're gonna have whatever charges on you, or they gonna pin something you that they feel is gonna stick to you. Court, I was talking about the that situation with that YouTube and that giveaway. But one of the video clips I seen during the melee and the ruckus, a cop had smashed one of these kids' heads into the back of a taxi cab, trying to detain them or arrest them. But in my opinion, it looked like he wasn't doing much of nothing but trying to see what the hell was going on. And if he had to really run, because you see people running too, on top of that, coming from different sides of the car, you don't know what the hell to really expect. But it didn't look good on all the courts anyway. Platty, what's going on, baby? Hope all is well with you. Um, that's what I'm saying. You have to think about these things from a different aspect. You know, now if God forbid something really would have happened seriously to that kid, in some cases it would be a lawsuit, but then in certain cases, depending on what really got presented and what was really out there, it could be a hit and miss. You never know. But hopefully that kid didn't really suffer no real injuries, because sometimes people, even when they look like they should take an injury, that be the grace of that man upstairs sometimes. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, Platty. You know that. I was trying to see. It looked like it wanted to rain for a second, but I think I got bamboozled again. I'm always getting bamboozled on the weather. I can't take this no more, man. Tanya, what's going on, baby? But again, for those, just make sure that you know want to have the teens out and about. Make sure that they just make sure they in at least a safe area where it's not too much. They ain't got to worry about. Even though we know it's hard to, but still, just make sure they ain't in no situations they don't need to be caught up into, and you ain't got to go pick them up from a precinct or possibly come ID something. Because certain situations that we seen, there's been situations where things went left and somebody has lost their life one way or another. But I think that's something that needs to be looked at. And again, get into accordance. You know, but all in all, that was the crazy part about it, because again, The two clips that I did see outside of that one, it just looked like the random stuff that always happens when you got a big mob of people outside out here looting, stealing, even from the people out and about. Just doing the utmost. When you again start acting like animals, they're gonna treat you like animals. The way you think they're gonna throw an animal in the cage at some point. You know, you have to teach them something, and you got to make sure that it's not to detriment to them. Show them that they can go out even to certain events and have a good time without necessarily have to start a problem or be a part of some problem that they didn't necessarily have to be a part of. I've seen some people who, they thought they was going out to have a good time and got wrapped up in something. Why? Because just the people that they was with. Showing the benefits of just, living your life accordingly and just trying to be the best person you can be. Even when you're in situations where it's not looking the best. Come on now. She'll probably pop up in here at some point, realize you know that already. It's still early on their side anyway, so she was in here this morning. But yeah, it's time to start repairing that. It's like it's time to start repairing that moral fabric of just being able to be amongst the right people and trust and actually build something. But again, I think that's the most important thing to do right now. Like, again, we got people doing things even towards the elderly that we know is not morally right. Bringing this back up again tonight. We got people who feel that forget a moral fabric. I will do anything and everything just to get what I need to quote unquote get ahead or get my next fix. Got some people out there that's just real delusional. They are because again, any type of harm you are bringing towards somebody that's an elder or even a respected elder in the community, that's a problem. Because again, you don't know what comes behind that. 9 out of 10, um, you gonna get a karma that you really don't want. Yeah, I base this on just seeing it for myself. I've seen some people go down that road of I'm gonna cause harm to any and everybody, and I'm gonna get away, or I'm gonna just nobody gonna do nothing about it. And in that long term, somebody done did something about it. What ends up happening is that they end up finally finding a moral balance to realize that it's just gonna be some things in life you're not gonna be able to do without it coming back to you. You know, even if it don't come to you, it will come somewhere around your vicinity. So take into consideration what kind of energy you putting out there in the world. Again, the best part of being around specific people is just uplifting the ones that need it the most, and just try to show them that there is something better outside of just destruction and negativity. It is an option to give that to somebody. You know, like even what I was talking about the last 2 nights about delusional thinking. Again, some of y'all are bringing out these false informations, and again, that's messing up the moral fabric of what's going on. Again, make these decisions, but think about the decisions that you're making too. Because your decisions could affect more than one person. And see, when you bring out these agendas again to try to confuse and mess up the organic and the moral compass that's going on in the world right now, you are basically being an enemy and being a threat to mankind. You honestly are, whether you see it or not. But it's there. What I mean? There's some things that people should not be out here doing. Again, get back to that moral fabric. There's just some things that is not right. If you feel in your gut it ain't right, you still go through with it. At some point, you're gonna pay that consequence for it. But if you know it's wrong and you stop yourself, that's the most important thing you can do. Some people do be going down the wrong road already, but they end up making their own decisions as far as they know when to stop certain things. They know certain things ain't getting them nowhere positive, so they'll stop it. And in that instance, right there, that's a sign and a show that somebody is realizing, that there's things out there bigger than them. So again, just try to repair what you can repair. Right now, at least in this society, we need to repair that moral balance again. Are you picking on people, or you trying to, accost people because of they handicapped or whatever? That ain't the right way to go neither. Yeah, when you do specific things and you present a specific energy out there, it comes back twice as hard. Corey, what's going on, baby? It's time to start shedding light on that compass. That's what's missing right now more than anything. Sometimes you're gonna have to hear that. You're gonna have to hear whether it's coming from somebody super positive or it's coming from somebody that's coming from the gutter. At some point, some people have to resonate and wake up to what's really going on. I'm chilling, Corey. You know me. Another day, another blessing. Um, Again, felt like I got bamboozled. It looked like it was about to rain, but it ain't do nothing. So, but see, this is the thing, though. That's a positive step towards something good. Restoring what's needed right now is the best possible option. Again, like when you are telling people specific lies that don't make no type of sense, and you really trying to present it out there so the whole world will accept it. Again, that's kind of messing up the moral fabric. It's immoral to try to teach kids about reproductive organs and trying to reverse the roles. Again, men can't give birth the way women give birth, period. I don't care what these people are trying to lie and feed you. You should be able to decipher the truth and the lie. And I forgot, let me put this up just in case. Like I said, I know freedom of speech ain't really free. And I don't want to say nothing to mess up they quote unquote fabric, so I'm gonna just follow the protocol. But yet I digress though. Um, there's certain things we're gonna have to start, really standing together on, because again, this is bigger than us. You know, we all kind of messing up that fabric when we don't stand up on the right type of things that need to be stood up on. And see, and even when you have people that do stand up, you have most people who will still go against the grain. Like I felt this to myself. Exactly, swoop. But let these people tell it. And let them try to um convey that to the youngins. That's what they trying to do. Again, they have certain things they trying to implement, but again, you got people who ain't for it. Even on that side, they not for it, because even they got a moral fabric to say, nah, this ain't right. This wasn't done to us, so why should it be done to them? So I said it's time for a lot of y'all to stop focusing on the distractions that ain't getting us nowhere, and focus on the things that we could change so we could be somewhere better. And I'm gonna say this again because again, this ain't no shot or anything. But I want the people that should have reason and voice of reason to hear this. Men can't give birth, and women can't get people pregnant. Period. You want to teach them the right way. Don't teach them the way you think it should be taught. Sorry. You know, and that's what they supposed to do, Corey. But they don't. Some people don't get that message till it's too late. Then it's oh, but why? Oh, but you know, we should have. No, when you was trying to do something, you want to go against the grain. I believe you on that, swoop, because again, there was just some things that, and I don't care how old you are in this age group right here amongst the people, you know damn well it was just some things that wasn't being presented and it wasn't being taught to us. And even if we thought we knew something and we presented it, what you think we got behind it? Oh, okay, you think this what it is? All right, we're gonna teach you for real. And then they would sit down and break it down to you for real. See, because that was a real moral fabric right there. You're not going to sit there and have somebody go off a lie about something. No, you got to think about it. The main people that are going to ask the most questions are the youth. They're going to ask specific questions because, again, they want to see if you're going to be real with them about certain things, but they also want to see if the main thing is you're being knowledgeable and telling them the truth on it. So I said it's time for people to stop focusing on the wrong dynamics and focus on the dynamics that actually mean something. You can sit here and delve in day-to-day drama about who did what, yada yada yada. But while we doing all of that, there are things that we could have been actually, making progresses on, and you know, trying to make the change. Didi, what's going on, baby? I think that is a sad part about it, though. And this is where again, got to repair the moral compass, because you have some people that are going against the grain because they want to be a part of that quote unquote, new wave or whatever they think is going to be. But then again, it's not going to have the benefits they think it's going to have. Again, you got to basically sacrifice your own just for a bit of piece of what? And you're not really getting much at all. You know, and in the long run, you scolding your offspring. And when they do get to a certain point, especially when they really find out truths on the things that they was being lied to about, they're gonna resent you. They gonna definitely resent you if you were sitting there presenting a lie or you pushed something on them that didn't need to be pushed on them in the first place. Again, let them grow and be who they gonna be. And when they do decide to make whatever decision in life, let them be consenting adults when they do it. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a part of the moral fabric that needs to be replaced again because you're just basically trying to give them something before they even come out the womb. Basically trying to tell them what their lives should be. When again, it is supposed to be free thought, free action, all of that. But when these things are happening, that's not free no more. That's just basically a tyranny. I'm sorry, it is. But you know what, Swoop? Sad part about it is that yeah, because again, there was too much acceptance going on, and it was too much. Every time when we try to split something down the road that need to be split, majority of those people ended up going with the agenda instead of against it. So now that we are getting presented all these things now that shouldn't be presented, yeah, now it becomes a problem. You know, I think that's something that we're gonna have to really stand on. Period. Stand on the real principles and the core principles and the morals that are needed. So again, let a person be well into their adulthood when they make whatever decision they're gonna make. It shouldn't be made for them before they even get into puberty. Sorry, like it really feels like you're trying to. As soon as they come out the womb, this is how you're gonna live your life, and you better live it accordingly. Oh, when you have this one, this is what you should do. No, again, gotta have a clear understanding on what the hell is going on. And yeah, stop falling for the okie doke. I keep saying that because some people just really keep falling for the okie doke. You'll know something wrong, but still do it. Gotta think about your principles because again, if you're forcing something on even your offspring and it wasn't forced on you, what does that say about you? You know, it's one thing if they living in whatever truth they living in, but again, they still have to be consenting adults before they make any other decisions that could be either be costly or just might ruin them. This is why you have to have those routine talks. Parents, guardians, we are gonna have to have those routine talks because again, it's too much in the world that's being thrown at the youth right now. If you don't get a foot ahead of it, it's gonna spread like wildfire. Marlene, what's going on, baby? That's a whole fact. Swoop, you ain't listen. You already hit the thumb on the nail. Because that's exactly what it's leading to. I told somebody, live your life the way you see fit, but let you be an adult when you're doing it. And again, when it comes to specific teachings they trying to teach, rules they trying to put in place, yeah, of course it wasn't going to set right in the straight community. So they gonna put it in the community that they feel is always accepting and loving, but they even starting to not love and accept all the things that are going on their side. Either. Some of them have spoken out about it. Like I said, I most likely will have a like I said part three to last night's live, but I'm gonna try to do things a little differently. I'm gonna try to get a few people I know from over there on that. They gonna tell you the same thing. supposedly all of them will tell you the same thing. Whatever decisions they made, they was clear adults when they made those decisions. They wasn't kids. Parents wasn't forcing it on them. Shoot, some parents was against everything, but again, you living in your truth. It is what it is. And they were still adults when they made their decision. And again, we got to get back to that moral fabric. And I'm gonna say this again: there are only two genders. You're either gonna be born a man or you're gonna be born a woman. It's just that's in any form of life, even in the damn animal kingdom. You're either gonna be born a male or a female. Period. Stop saying this morning. No, because now you got to prove it. And whatever you trying to prove, it still is gonna go right back to the same thing. You was born a male or you was born a female. So again, you're not living the act of truth. And again, who suffers the most? People that are coming behind us because they don't even know what to make of anything. Oh, Swoop, you ain't that far off. I think I seen something along those lines, but I think I know where you're going with it. And I think I seen a video that kind of goes with what you're saying. So yeah, there's a lot of things that it's just you got to see what it's coming to for real. Again, at some point, when do you stand up and start fighting for the moral fabric? If you're not going to do so, then you won't be a part of that losing war. And again, that is sad when you sitting there trying to throw a stigma and trying to throw a falsehood out there that can mess up somebody's mind, especially an impressionable mind, or the mind of a mentally handicapped person that don't know no better. So again, what does it say about your moral fabric and compass? That it ain't there. It feels like your agenda is just to push whatever you can push. That's going to be legal and that we supposed to just accept. No, because I'm sorry, in my opinion, I feel like at some point they are going to try to add pedos and whoever to that side of the fence as well too. And I'm sorry, I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again to those on that side of the community that resonate with me. They are doing too much in your community, and it's like only a small handful of y'all standing up. Y'all got to stand up for what's right. And a lot of these things they really trying to implement and preach is not right. What they trying to do, what they trying to undo is unjust and it's unfair. It's crazy though. When do you stop? Like, when do you just stop trying to follow anything that you feel is going to put you on a grand stage of things? See, again, some of y'all just be worried about being a part of some sort of revolution and being some sort of face that was a part of that revolution. But that revolution is not going to go but so far. Because at some point, everybody's going to really be standing up and telling you, no, what you're trying to produce here is wrong. What you're trying to do here is wrong. We're no longer accepting. And for those who do want to accept it, then hey, it is what it is. You can stay on that side all you want. You can live that delusional life if you want to. We gonna live the moral fabric of things. No, Some things you just can't counteract, and you can never try to eliminate because it's gonna be here until the end of time. My opinion is like you want to stop reproduction, but you can't stop reproduction. Sneezy yeet. But again, like at what point do you really stand up and say, nah, this ain't right, and we not trying to hear this no more? And then when some people do try to stand up, it's already too late because they didn't have the numbers that they needed to actually make something work. And see, and this is where the numbers do come back into play. You got to get back into that number game. We got to really get back to even playing field. You ain't that you ain't that far off, Corey, for real. Some of them are. I'm not gonna say all of them, because some people have actually been actually standing and fighting, and some just don't know where to really attack or start from, and they just trying to make sure they ain't messing up nothing else that don't need to be messed up. So again, you're gonna have different numbers, but you're gonna have some people that they don't care. They moral fabric and all of that is out the window when it comes to money. The minute you throw a specific amount of money, especially if that's all they think about or talk about, oh, they gonna sell their mama down the river for that. Trust me. Oh, you want to get high up? All right, guess what? This is how I'm gonna do it. We can get back to the morals because again, money is not a fundamental. It's a fundamental goal. No, it's not. It's not really a goal. Because that's gonna come. That's gonna come with the works that you put in, especially if you are out there doing what you don't. But again, that shouldn't compromise or corrupt your moral spirit. So you gonna tell me this amount of money is worth you forsaking the core value? Ambery, what's going on, baby? So if you're telling me that $1 million is worth you doing something that you wouldn't have normally done under any circumstance, and it already shows where your compass was at in the first place. Your compass was only focusing on the money and nothing else. And that's sad because again, you are showing the wrong type of blueprint to those who might be trying to build a certain way. And they shouldn't have to sacrifice their core goals or anything just to do so. No doubt, Swoop. Appreciate you, baby. And you stay safe on that road, baby. Definitely appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. And again, the link is pinned up in case anybody want to chime in. It ain't gonna be an all nighter, but I did feel that was a part that had to be talked about. Again, morality. Again, even for those who got people in the school system, got to be real with yourselves. You want to make sure that if your kids are going to be in that system, they are learning the right things they need to learn and not what they're going to false teach. Because some of these teachers have actually been exposed left and right. So again, make sure you're giving them the right, accurate information. Don't try to feed them what you think they should be fed. And again, you got to think about the people around you when you're making these decisions. If you want to make a decision to lie and be on that type of time, then you know you messed up. You basically have dropped that moral ball. Some people have to wake up to a conclusion too that not everybody is going to follow, believe, or even be a part of a specific agenda when that agenda is not doing nothing but messing up the core fabric that we speak of. It's time to put the real motion in gear and just make this work. You have an obligation to make sure you're doing the best to yourself, but also the best around the people who love and care for you, and vice versa. And even when you gain specific knowledge, you got to make sure that you are not just applying it to life, but make sure that it's actually knowledgeable and that it works. So even when you pass on the knowledge, even if somebody does decide to move in a specific field, even if they ain't do it the way you did it, they got a blueprint on how to move in there already. You know? Sometimes it's always good to observe. But when you observe that, you'll be all right. You'll be able to you'll be able to decipher what's BS and what's real, and then you can pass that on even to the people around you, your kids, family members, whoever. You know, but again, just teaching the right basic steps, we could get higher and higher and elevate more in life. Always felt that way. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. Because again, you can accept and tolerate certain things. But then there's other things you're not going to be able to tolerate because again, it doesn't make logical sense. When it sounds delusional, you'll know it. Trust me, you'll know it. But the people that won't know it, that's why you gotta give them awareness and the blueprints. And shouts to Nefertiti. I gotta check her upload in a minute. Um, series, if you could do me a favor, can you drop Nefertiti's link too? Oh yeah, congratulations to everybody who just got monetized, partially monetized on the way to it. You know, I say this every day because it's true. I believe in all of y'all, and I see that all of y'all making strides one way or another. Whether you supporting the real ones or you actually putting out the content that's out there, keep doing what you're doing and keep striving, and those blessings are definitely coming one way or another. Because I'm sorry, because look, like I told y'all before, I know it is that some people that are not gonna be able to actually sit there, not gonna be able to really sit there and try to teach their kids. Even by a quote unquote school standard, they're not going to be able to do so, especially if some of these people are working or they barely going to be home, or they might not have the right people around, or they might not even have people at all to really help with that process. So in that event, you do got to put your kids in there. Just make sure your kids are not learning things that they shouldn't have to learn. And if they going to learn them, you need to be the one teaching them and teach them the truth about it. Don't let them get caught up teaching any type of false lies about that because again, that will be detrimental to them, and that will confuse the hell out of them. Again, stand up on that moral. You know, appreciate you, serious. And you just take that into the whole consideration. Don't just half think about it. Fully think about it. But all in all, though, I'm saying we get back to that, we can start changing some of the things that we are seeing now that we know for a fact they ain't right. Some of this stuff is already precursed to happen anyway. Because, we had people that could have been fighting on those instances and they either got bombarded or the people just gave up. That's one thing you should never do is give up. You do have a right to live the way you're supposed to live. Y'all supposed to have some sort of free thought, not so much as a free spirit. We see what some of this free spirited stuff is getting some people now. Some of the rhetoric we see in that. But, this ain't nothing different from what we've been speaking about. And we also got to start instilling these morals in the people that need the most. And I'm going back to what we said before. As far as you accosting and causing harm to any elders, mentally or physically handicapped people, no. You got to be held accountable and you got to be prepared for whatever's coming behind that. And honestly, you should never even get that far. I don't care what stage in life you are. You shouldn't even think to go to that level. I'm telling you, a lot of times it don't end well for those type of people that move that way, even if it's drug induced. Guess what? Somebody might catch you or get the drop on you. And if they end up hurting you or possibly killing you, then what? Have a moral compass to know to keep your hands off the elders, or for the physically and the mentally handicapped, or for the babies, or for the kids that really are not a part of nothing. Just basically anybody that's not a part of that type of factor, you should be leaving them alone. If you're gonna move the way you're gonna move, then you gonna get what's coming to you. No, it's time to change that standard too. And in all actuality, we wasn't allowing that to happen anyway. And if we did get wind of that, oh nah, we was on deck with it. Because again, we don't need to be pushing this wrong type of narrative that this is okay. So it's not okay again for anybody, any elder, anybody along the lines that just spoke about being attacked. But when you do have a strong logical conversation or a general conversation, for some people it ends up turning emotional. Some for good reason because some people have probably already been through the scars or the testaments of what's going on. But then you have others that just they don't care. They are intent on just doing what's necessary to destroy a good, strong balance. They don't care about nothing because they wasn't taught nothing. And if they was taught something, they let something else corrupt their thinking process. So now the way they living ain't the way that they should be living, but it is what it is. So, no doubt, serious. Take your time, baby. Appreciate y'all for dropping those links. I think that's something to hit on, though. You know, when those tables get turned, you ain't gonna be prepared for those consequences, especially if you was out here doing specific things. You gotta remember the moral fabrics and start rebuilding them, because guess what? Karma and morality kind of go right hand in hand. If you doing the right sort of things, if you treating the people the right sort of way, you don't have to worry about too much of that ill karma. Moving a certain way that's not otherwise, you don't know what could be coming your way. So again, I think in that instance right there, it's time for people to really stand up. You see specific things like that happening now, you got to act on that. You know, again, when you see certain people moving and they moving kind of seedy, or just they just nah. You got to keep watch on it, because you don't know what could be happening. And when you do stand on what you got to stand on, you in the same token end up preventing a specific catastrophic event from happening. You know, look how many stories you probably had about people who said, "Well, damn, if I'd have known that was the situation, that person wouldn't have got away." Or, "Nah, I would have definitely made that call right then and there." But you know, you never know, because again, when you don't have too many people being on point with certain things, this is what happens. It's hard to sometimes, but then again, they're gonna have some people that's always going to look, and even if something just don't feel right, you have a moral obligation to make that right call if you feel that's what's necessary. Mookie, what's going on, my guy? I already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. If y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Um, telling you, best way to keep certain things under wraps is just pay attention to everything going on in your vicinity. If it look if it look like it's immoral, it look like it's wrong, and it could lead to something crazy, you have a right to intervene. Oh no, I know that part, Nancy. Trust me, I believe that part without a shadow of a doubt. But then you have those who won't, and the ones that won't usually stand strong anyway, regardless of the numbers. You know, it's just sad. Sometimes you wish the numbers would benefit them more, because they standing on something that's right and is definitely standing against an injustice. And by the moral fabric of most people, they should be standing up for that reason alone. Yeah, you got some people that just don't care, because it's not important, because it's not happening to them, or it's not happening to anybody around them at that present time. And I believe even if it did, some people still would not care. You got some people who are just never going to live by a moral, or never even take anything in consideration, because they soul already been dead. Let's take that into consideration. You know, and again, when you got people that get to that level of not even caring about life itself, that's a problem. And that's something that shouldn't be overlooked. Because in that instance, you don't know where things could go from there. Like, if you know, prime example, you could possibly save somebody's life, and you right in the vicinity and you ain't do so, that goes to show where your morality was at, where your code was at. You wasn't thinking. But you're still supposed to stand on your principles on certain things. Even if you slip the ball one time, you're supposed to be able to stand on what you got to stand on and then move forward from there. Some things you're not going to be able to control, even if you thought you was in control of the situation. Some things is probably already meant to happen that way. If it was written to happen that way, hey, what could you do? But again, I feel this conversation was needed tonight. Didn't matter how long it was going. Just felt that this was something that needed to be poked on. And it does because, again, think about the people that's coming behind us in the future. If we stand up and fight on the right type of things and bring back the things that are needed, we can always keep that balance going even as we pass on. We can pass on something that's greater than us. But you're not wrong with what you're saying either, Maxie. But see, even in the chats, like prime example, this is a prime example of a gem being thrown out. Like even the shout outs to Swoops. Threw out some gems out there today too. But next year you ain't far off neither. Some people have become accustomed to that. I'm gonna look the other way because it don't affect. And in the same token, it does affect you because it could affect the people around you. Again, you got time to think before you do things. Clearly going to think on another level, then you already see where it's at. And, you can't be mad or nobody else around you could be mad about the consequences that end up happening to you because you didn't make that decision the right way. If at any time you felt it was cool to try to put your hands on these type of people just because you trying to get the next fix, don't worry. At some point, you gonna get fixed, and it ain't gonna be the right way. Or you gonna get that fix that you've been feeling for, and that could be your last fix. Might end up getting the wrong batch of something, and you can overdose for. Or you'll mess around and get to a point where you won't be able to use part of your body. If a drug is more important than your moral compass and your mind state at that point, you definitely need to seek help. If you're even thinking about doing specific things along that level, you need to go get you some help because clearly you are not in control of the situation at hand. And why make the situation get even worse just because you couldn't listen to your inner spirit and say, you know what, enough is enough. There's some things you gotta again tread lightly with. You're gonna always have to do so because when you put in certain things in your body, now look, you kind of messing up. Well, no, you just putting a mean cocktail in your body, and at some point that cocktail could erupt, could mess up the wrong way, and you won't mess your body up the wrong way. Why do all of that? Again, some people have gone down certain roads because of specific events. But I believe if they had the right people around them with the right moral compass, I believe some of it wouldn't have occurred the way it occurred. Exactly, Corey. It is. Because again, you got to think you are blessed and you are here for a specific reason, no matter what that reason is. But why you until you find out what it is, you know, live life accordingly. Yeah, you got the right to free thinking, but you got to make sure whatever you thinking is not going to be a detriment to you or the people around you. And you got to make sure it ain't going to set you up in the long run. So I can really tell you tonight. I mean, that's just one aspect to look at. What example do you set if you are allowed to just follow something because you feel you're being forced to follow it? You know, like prime example, I'm gonna use this for an example. Not once have you ever seen me say if you go into these places, I'm not rocking with you, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I would never do that because my morals will tell you that even in real time. I don't care who you still associate with. As long as they ain't around me with the funniness, or as long as they not around me with whatever, I'm happy. I'm cool. See, that's my moral compass right there. A lot of times I just know when to eliminate myself out of a situation, especially when I know it's not really a situation that is cracked up to be. You know, again, you gotta have a moral fiber, but also a balance of peace of mind. You need that. Yeah, that's crazy. Word, hey, man. Seeing again, you know what? Sometimes in certain instances, you gotta know exactly when to insert yourself and when not to. And 9 out of 10, again, doing what they were supposed to do. You know, like I was telling y'all before, I watched a video when the guy was out with his son or his grandson, I believe. It was a matter of fact, I think it was his grandson. It was an older cat. The guy came in there getting ready to rob a regular burger joint or whatever, whatever. Everybody's sitting there eating. Most of these people scared. You waved the gun at his grandson and then waved the gun at him. And you ain't even know that man had the whole gun on him. And at some point, as soon as you turned your back on him, he shot you. And that mugger lost his life. The mugger lost his life because, again, once you present a specific danger to some people and you not knowing who's who, you don't know what you're going to run against. There's some things that just go wrong because, again, even when you had a moral standpoint to say this ain't going to go right, you still went with it. Now, had that man not taken action, who knows what could have occurred? Because for the fact that you waved the gun in the young man's face and then waved it in a grown man's face, that stands again where your moral was at. So I believe that was written for that to happen. Because again, certain situations that people think is going to be a smooth, easy getaway, it ain't going to be a getaway. It ain't going to be smooth and easy neither. Because there are things that can happen at the blink of an eye. And if they happen, that could cost you your life. You will be deleted for real. Because again, you have some situations where people ain't gonna have no choice but to stand up. Because again, if nobody else is gonna band up, or if everybody is scared to a degree, you don't want to sit there and not take action. And then something does happen. But I feel in certain instances it should never get to that point anyway. And I've always felt for these, and it need to be said, for the dumb criminals. If you're gonna be out here doing stuff, man, do it to the people that you're supposed to do it to, and that's actually people that's in the streets. That's about that, or that's just you know, like let us be real. When you accosting and trying to rob the regular or the average citizen who working a 9 to 5 or trying to create the empire, you ain't trying to rob the people that's actually in the streets that need to be robbed. That what does that say about your morals, sir? I'm saying. Yeah, word. That's what I'm saying. These people, some of these people, they don't know what lies beyond that door when you move that road. And some people will learn a hard lesson, and even if they survive it, they ain't gonna be the same. Or if they was lucky and they still decide to make that decision, then that second time around, they might not be lucky. So you only gonna be so much you have luck before you know it's time. You know what? You just don't learn. You know what? Come on home. Let's retry this again at some point. You gotta come on home. You know, in some instances you're gonna have to because again, you're right, Corey. You're gonna have to because you don't know what's around that corner. The things that are being presented and even shown and just accepted. You know, it's a clear marking right there that you know you have to be on go and on point with certain things. You know, especially when it is involving family and you know, gotta be eerie. Chill town, what's going on, my guy? Nah, but you know what's crazy though, realist? There's some of them stories I was speaking about didn't even happen on the news. It was just like surveillance recordings before it even hit news. It was surveillance recordings. Certain stories I was talking about, I watched surveillance recordings before it even really hit the news or anything. You had some people who was having their cameras not linked to what was going on here. You know, some people like, oh shoot, yo, this is what we got over here. You know, because some people might be around when certain things are going on. So either which way, somebody's always getting footage of something, even before it becomes worldwide. Again, I think that's the scariest notion when you out enjoying enjoying your peaceful existence, and you got situations where people are just that hungry to try to cause a disturbance in the balance. But again, you going out there and not being mindful of what you're doing, you could lose your life. And again, we've had some situations where some good people have lost their life trying to do what was right. And you got the ones that was doing wrong that eventually lost their life because they did too much wrong. You know, and you gotta think about it. If you thought you had a getaway plan and that getaway plan for some reason gets foiled, you ain't got a plan B. What you gonna do now? Now you gotta think on the fly. And if you think on the fly on something, you gotta make sure it don't end up getting you killed still, but you still take that risk. Prime example, you got some people that now if you rob somebody or try to rob a elderly person and knowing cops probably near or never said, now what you gonna do if you don't got a getaway plan? Might as well just give up. Just saying. Think before you do. You still got clear time to think before you do certain things. And if you know it ain't gonna stand right with you, or it ain't gonna stand right with people that know you, I don't think you should be doing it. Especially if it is causing unnecessary harm to people who are not necessarily focused on anything but just trying to live their regular life. We see these things being eliminated left and right in every community. Moral fabrics and bonds that at one point was, keeping us afloat. Most people have become well known to just turn a cheek, turn away from situations, or they just don't even bring it to the light. But again, when you trying to avoid loss of life, you know, some people are really going to go to bat and they don't care. We had some people who lost their life trying to do the right thing, regardless to what, in more than one different way. But it goes to show you where their moral fabric is at. There was no hidden agendas. There was no nothing. These was just people that stood on what they believed in, regardless to what, and at least died trying to make some sort of change that they felt was going to be beneficial. They didn't go out there wild crazy and crash out. No, you just, when you have real hateful people and spiteful people, you get these type of situations happen. But yet I digress though. I think that's the most we can do right now. Just trying to repair what's needed. But again, my bad, y'all. I was still thinking about that situation with that young boy because again, that's kind of what sparked this whole conversation. I was like, nah, like don't get it twisted. To some people, yeah, it's going to cause the right type of outrage because morally, that cop didn't necessarily have to do that. But then again, when it's a situation where it's do or die, this is what they trained to do. Especially if it's a situation that's getting out of hand and there's crowds of people at some point, it's crowd control. A lot of times you ain't even gotta watch the news to see on half of the things that we speak about or the main people speak about day in and day out. Just go outside in your community or outside the community and really pay attention to what's going on. Be more observant. That's the best way to go about certain things. You're gonna have to. If you're not observing, you just focusing on the wrong things and over talking the wrong situations, you're gonna miss out on something important. But, I honestly felt that was needed tonight mostly. And I'm gonna probably put a part two to this, definitely. Um, there's multiple ways to break down something, and that's what's going to continuously happen. We're going to break down, and we're going to be able to just build from it. Restructure was needed, even through a conversation. But all in all, though, just keep in mind again, um, at some point, you're going to need to restitch that moral fabric. And I'm talking about the individuals that need to hear that. If you know you're about to do something that's not going to be a good look for you, all in all, might as well just find another way to get a come up if that's what you're trying to do. Just look at the positive things that are happening around you. They ain't too far neither. You know, there's the simplest things that you can look at and get positivity from and get a good feeling from. But again, you just got to make sure that specific situations don't occur. Like again, I've always felt when you bring drama to places that it don't need to be, you know, you showing right there just how sad it is that people just can't come together and have some sort of enjoyment. You know, again, you don't necessarily got to watch any type of news broadcasting just to gain specific information to see what's really going on. Just take a look outside the areas when you go out. Yeah, some people that have been here and still be here that'll tell you, you know, they see certain things happen. I've seen some people make shorts about it even on here. You know, so again, there's always something going on. You know, you just got to be aware of what's going on. No, but I think I am going to bring a part two to this, definitely. And like I said, I'm going to start firing up some stuff too, so it don't even matter. But again, I'm gonna try to find that clip. I'm gonna try to see if they had any updates on that. But again, I hope that brilliance for no. Like I said, that clip cut off before we even seen his head getting pulled out. So again, hopefully it wasn't too crazy because again, it didn't necessarily have to happen. But then again, this is some things that should have been presented before that event even happened. I feel at some point everybody got to take some sort of accountability for the things that were done because yes, there was damage done regardless to what. When you get crowds like that, a lot of times you can't man and see what's going on. So in that instance, something could be happening while something that's positive is supposed to be happening. If I know I got more than 1,000 people crowded in one area, I'm not going to be able, even if I got adequate security or whatever, I got to have more surveillance than anything because at some point something could be going on and we miss it. I do feel again to restore the moral fabric of everything. We just got to get back to the basics and get back to what's right and what feels right. And when we got our youngins out here acting a fool and just making a mockery out of everything, that's not fair, and it really just ain't right. You know, at some point, there are going to have to be specific talks because got to get to the common problem on why you just can't follow a moral balance. I don't got to be gung ho or gun crazy just to enjoy life or try to get a come up or try to be something in life. I could put something into use no matter what it is. Whatever's given to me, you just gotta make it work. You know, and for some, y'all know, yeah, most news is gonna be repetitive. Especially again, this is what we talk about. They keep focusing on the wrong type of distractions. So of course, most people ain't gonna watch the news because yeah, they're gonna talk about the same thing. But then there's sometimes you're gonna watch it because if it was a story that was definitely hard hitting or it really made you, you know, see what the situation was, you want the real update. But you know, you don't have to watch it every day. If you already feel within the first 5 minutes or so that it's going to be the same things talked about, especially if they quote unquote giving updates to something that was just recently broken, you know 9 out of 10 is going to be almost the same thing. But sometimes, depending on what news stations you watching, again, just pay attention to the bottom of the screen. All of those things that are being put on the bottom of that teleprompter is telling you something. Something that they ain't going to tell you why they talking. That's what I'm saying. Pay attention to what's going on all cylinders. Because it might be something that bypassed you that you ain't realize. Like I said, one day I did watch the news. They was um talking about a few situations. Matter of fact, they was talking about that situation with that girl What was her name? Bree. Forgot again. My bad, y'all. But when he was talking about that situation, I was looking at something at the bottom, and that's when they was talking about the lab grown meats and stuff like that. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't pay attention to what these reporters be saying. Sometimes I look at the bottom of the screen, no matter what news station I do decide to watch for something. I pay attention to it. Even if I'm reading a newspaper, I pay attention to everything that I need to pay attention to. When you skim through certain things, you miss out on important things. So, but yeah, I do agree with y'all though. It do get depressing, but sometimes it's necessary because again, there's going to be stories that you get caught up in because you want to see exactly what happened, what was the motive behind it, so on and so forth. And in some cases, you're gonna know that's a distraction, so you know when to get caught up and when not to. But yeah, man, just all in all, something to think about for the night. Again, I am going to bring a part two to this. Um, and the link will be open for that as well too. You know, you'll attack certain elements by just breaking down key elements. And there was a couple of key elements broken down tonight right now. In the long run, the moral of the story for this part, you make the wrong decisions that could be costly on either end. Be prepared for what's to happen. But I think this was a good one tonight too. The link is still pinned in case anybody want to pop in. But if not, I ain't gonna hold y'all all night. I know most of y'all got work. Most of y'all trying to recover and recuperate. And again, I do appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. Um, I'll definitely be back in the morning for the site if anything. But again, that really is the moral of tonight's story. Get back in tune with your morality code. Some of you parents are going to have to teach your kids that even if you are in certain situations, there's a way to present yourself without having to hurt yourself or possibly kill yourself. And if you're in a situation where you know you need help, you got to be brave enough to open your mouth and definitely get the help that's needed. So, like I said, I'll definitely bring a part two to this. I'll bring a part two sometime this week. And again, I do appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. You ain't have to be in here, but you was, and that was the most important thing. And again, it's good to just see the good people in here and everybody that dropped some sort of knowledge and gems in the chat. This is what's gonna happen here regardless. Oh wait, for those that was here and those that was in here earlier, y'all remember what I said earlier, right? Some of y'all might remember. If not, catch the replay. um, I'm gonna continuously do what I do and do the best way possible, and I'm gonna do it my way. Modesty, what's going on, baby? Always in here late for church, baby. But again, I'm just gonna leave it out there clear as day. Start getting more in tune with your kids, the youth that's around your kids. Start bringing back a moral fabric that's needed. Stop letting them think that they're going to be able to move around like savages and demons and things ain't going to happen. No, because even demons and savages get slayed at one point. That's exactly if you're moving and continuously moving in that direction. And if you're not being a moral compass to your kids or the people around you, you really ain't standing on your core principles. So we really need to restore that and rebuild that fabric, at least as tight as we can. Oh, modesty. That was Injustice, the first one. I got both. I got that and Injustice too. But yeah, I know I was being funny. I know. I know some of y'all was encouraging the pettiness. I know. But I feel tonight definitely was a good talk and a good topic, and a part two will be necessary, and it is necessary. So, the most beneficial way to reach the people a lot of times is just a strong conversation with the people. And again, we're gonna be back in the morning though, definitely. And I'm gonna try to see again if I can find a full clip of that whole situation. Because I believe there was more than one incident, but then again, depending on what the scenario was, some situations you can't get mad. If you move in a certain way, if you be in a certain way, you're gonna get what's coming to you. Just think about that. Yeah, but modesty, the game I was playing was Injustice. That was the first one. But yeah, I definitely appreciate everybody that tuned in. And I believe Riders is live right now. Shouts to Riders for Life. Hold on. James, if you still in the chat, or Didi, can you do me a favor and yeah, drop Riders live. Drop Riders link for me, please. Definitely some good people, like I said. For those who do come across this will catch the replay. Again, when you come in, this is what you want to get: a strong building conversation. Definitely going to get some laughs. You're going to get, what you need. Certain days you want to get your music. It is what it is. And again, no matter what's being built to try to disarm what you're doing in life, especially if it's something strong and something positive and something that's definitely beneficial, you don't allow it to happen. And again, for those who was here earlier, y'all remember what I said technically is yesterday. Today is Tuesday. Remember what I said yesterday, and I stood on that, and I'm still gonna stand on that. So y'all get to have all the fun and the duties, and I'm gonna keep doing my duty. So again, even when you have opposition that's not really opposition, I'm still gonna do what I do, and I'm gonna do it the best way. I'm gonna do it my way, and I'm gonna build with the people the best way that I see fit. And it's not gonna be no tyranny. So I believe I already won this war, and yes, um, this was a fake good war, but a fake war nonetheless. So, but we're gonna bring the real facts and really fight this real war. So we'll definitely be back in the morning. But definitely go show Riders some love. And I believe Word got a live coming up tonight too. I'm gonna pop in on that before I actually crash out for the night. think I'm actually gonna try to get me some rest. So definitely appreciate everybody that tuned in. And like I said, part two is coming, and the link will be open for that in case y'all want to chime in on it. Mostly I got things to do, so ain't gonna hold y'all much longer. Um, and again, shout outs to all my members of the Eulogy family. Like I said, I'm cooking up some things definitely, so don't worry. You know, this is how we gonna do it. Just move the best way possible and show her the best options possible. Nothing more, nothing less. And we're gonna have fun doing it, baby. Um, could try to play some music tomorrow as well too, so I'll let y'all know how that moves. But definitely appreciate y'all. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout outs to the replay game. Shout outs to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance tonight, you already know that love is love and to be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. That's all I'm gonna do is give you real topics and real builds. Like I said, I'll see y'all in the morning. And James, hopefully everything go well with you tomorrow, bro. We're definitely praying for you. And again, before I leave out again, prayers to those who definitely need it. Whether it's physical health, mental health, all of you lost somebody in the family, definitely healing prayers and condolences to those who need it. I know it's been a rough year, but we still blessed to be here, and we got to just keep the torch going for those who we lost. So, we're definitely just going to continue with strong, positive build. There is no caping, there is no faking. There is no way you stopping me from awakening the people that really need to be awoken. And that was my last token to this fool. Final words have been spoken. So, we'll definitely be back in the morning. And just definitely keep that third eye open. I'll definitely see y'all in these streets. Y'all stay safe, enjoy y'all evenings. I'll see some of y'all at riders, and I'll see some of y'all at words. I'm gonna try to be a fat boy around these YouTube streets and show some love and support. And I gotta catch some replays too. So y'all definitely stay safe, keep that third eye open. And until the next live, we out of here. Oh, wait a minute. Before we do get up out of here, before I do say peace and blessings, I ain't forget about this. Fucker be doing circus tricks just to get in the house. So imagine what he be doing when I be pulling off this dead leash and shit. Because he want to get in the house, boy. He want to get in the house. I said he want to get in the house. I had to catch that and throw that in there real quick. Oh, man. But y'all enjoy y'all evenings. I'll see y'all in the morning, definitely. Until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.